Hi guys, how are you doing today? Hope you are having a wonderful day. Ready for some new drama from Ask a Lawyer? Let's go to the first one, about OP's family, who is furious OP is refusing to take care of her stepmother in her last days. But OP has a valid reason to refuse. As for what she did to OP's mother, listen to the story guys to find out all the details, and of course to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My former stepmother, my late father's widow, is terminally ill. I've not seen her since his death 7 years ago. I kept minimal contact with my half-siblings, 15 and 16, through her, but not closely either. My relationship with them were complicated, and I do not care for the woman at all. My former stepmother's brother contacted me and told me she needs someone to take care of her now, and it should not fall on my half-siblings and cannot fall on him, as he lives in another state. Her condition is terminal, and they believe she has less than a year left. I was told by her brother that I should take responsibility for helping to care for her, given she was my stepmother for many years of my life, and she is the mother of the 2 kids I should be willing to take in once she has passed. He told me refusing to care for their mother is going to permanently end my relationship with them. For those wondering about background, my mom and my former stepmother were very close friends, and before my mom's death, my former stepmother and father betrayed her by carrying out an affair. I overheard the fight when my mom found out the truth. Once my mom had passed, my former stepmother decided to create a huge scene at my mom's funeral and insulted my mom's parents and insulted her sisters for saying my former stepmother had no place at the funeral. She tried to say, as my future stepmother and my mom's closest friend, she would always have a place. I called her names that day. She told me I would regret it one day. That day has never come. But she did revel in telling me all my mom's flaws after she and my dad married. I never saw Dad the same way either, but he refused to let the relationship go completely and did his best to maintain contact once I left his house. He died when I was 20. I told him I would not care for his sister, and I made it very clear to him that I was not going to make her end of life any easier than she made my mom's. My half-siblings called me and told me that their mom was asking for me, and they were scared and wanted me to be there at the end. They said she needs someone to help her, and they can only do so much with school, that they hate leaving her alone. I told them I was sorry, and I knew what it was like to watch your mom slowly fade, but that I was not the one to do it. My half-brother asked me if I didn't love her at all after all this time. I said no. He told me to stay the hell away then, and from them as well. My father's sister heard about all that happened, and she told me I should be more mature than that, and I should be more loving and compassionate to my half-siblings. She told me I should love them more than I hate their mom and agree to care for her to make their next year a lot less stressful. When I refused, she called me a cruel and selfish person, and she told me I was behaving like the very person I hated the most. Am I the a-hole? These are not OP's problems to solve. With everything that has gone down, these people have a lot of nerve to tell OP what OP should and shouldn't be doing. OP needs to cut the contact now. They just gave a valid reason to do it. And father-sister can take care of her sister-in-law and children by herself. She is mad at OP because she doesn't want to do this, but doesn't want to feel like she abandoned her sister-in-law, so she's trying to make OP do it. And now let's hear the community's opinion on the matter. Kanye writes, says, "Not the a-hole. This is not a closely related person to you. She has a closer family, which seems to be trying to shift responsibility to yourself. That's strange and unethical on their part. Also, did they contact you just because they need help?" Comfortable C says, "Not the a-hole. She told me I would regret it one day." No, she is regretting it right now, I would guess. Let your stepmom's family take care of her, and take in the kids after her death. Organic World says, "I'm fascinated by all these people who are so eager to tell you that this is your responsibility, and yours alone. You would think that, interstate or not, her actual brother would be first in line to help, rather than an estranged former stepson. Not to mention, you're still pretty young if I've mathed it correctly. What I don't know is how truncated your recounting of your convo with your half-brother was. If it played out literally as you said, it sounds rather callous, and certainly could have been handled more sensitively. It is a terrible position for them to be in, and it sounds like your brother viewed you as family, even if you didn't reciprocate. I'd lean towards saying you're not the a-hole, but if you have residual feelings for your half-siblings and want to not have this hanging over your head, You could try to broker a compromise with all of these people who supposedly care so much for them all, such as joint contributions towards a part-time carer. I, 25 female, loaned my sister, 29 female, a lot of money a few months ago. I have a decent job, but I have many bills to pay, one of them being my student loan, so I don't like to spend frivolously. I, however, decided to give my sister what would be about 6 months of my pay from my savings after she had a major house accident and needed repairs done. I was hesitant at first, but she promised to repay me. She had borrowed money from me before, but never this much, and she didn't pay me back fully those times, but she promised she would. After 3 months, she hadn't given me a dime, and when I confronted her about it, she told me I was cruel to ask her for money at a time when she had wedding preparations and a child, my niece, 7 female, to take care of. I suggested she could pay me in installments, but she said she budgeted her money and there was no extra cash left to pay me in monthly installments. I was fuming when I heard this, but there was nothing I could do until my mother, 58 female, transferred a large sum of money to me suddenly and told me to forward it to my sis. It was money for her wedding, and she couldn't find her account number, so sent the money to me. I didn't transfer the money because my sis owed me. This money, though, wasn't as much as what she had borrowed, but I decided to keep it. My mom called to ask if I sent it, and I told her I didn't and why. She said I couldn't do that because the money wasn't mine, and this was stealing. She said that if my sis wanted to give me some of the money after I transferred it, that would be good, but I couldn't take her money. I strongly disagree. My sister found out what happened and is angrily demanding the money, but I refuse to send it. Am I the a-hole here? If you borrow money and promise to pay it back, you have an obligation to do so. A wedding is a luxury, not a necessity. As for the child, she knew about the kid when she borrowed the money and agreed to pay it back. I don't think she was planning to pay OP back when she was borrowing the money. But I think OP was naive, or I would even say stupid in this situation, because she has never fully paid OP back previously, yet OP still lent her money. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Hoshi Jones says, "This is one of those situations where, yeah, technically you're the a-hole, because that was your mother's money and you stole it. But I'm still glad you did it." Serge Rodnunsky says, "Your mom is right. Everyone sucks here. You did know your sister was bad at paying people back. She's also awful for being so blatantly greedy and effectively stealing from you. Your mom, however, is correct that what you've done is stolen as well. The thing is, you haven't stolen from your sister. Would probably be allowed to be honest. You've stolen from your mom. This was your mom's gift to your sister. You'll notice the possessive tense S is on your mom, not your sister. Either give your mom back her money or pass it on to your sister as requested. I'd probably send it back to mom, but either way, it's not yours to take. You're the a-hole. So is your sister. Everyone sucks here." Varnished Truth says, "Not the a-hole. It's your money now. I hope you can afford not to get the rest back, because your sister is never going to repay you." I, 35 female, and my husband, 36 male, have been married for 5 years and together for 8. We will be having our first baby in 3 months and decided to take a baby moon to a resort spa in Florida. We booked a basic room under my husband's name. Upon check-in, the attendant said we had been upgraded to the presidential suite with full concierge service and comp spa treatments. We thought this was very strange. The attendant assured us that we would only be charged our original rate. We asked who did it so we can thank them, thinking it was a family member or a close friend. The attendant said sometimes it happens for special occasions. On the reservation, it asked the reason for the visit, and we said we were having a baby. We were still a bit skeptical, but accepted the answer. The next day as we came back from the beach, there was a different attendant. We went over to just double-check about our room. She confirmed what the previous one said about the rate. I asked, "Does this happen often?" And she said, "No. They might get a free meal or one special spa service, but nothing like you all have." When we inquired about how we got this, she stated that this can only be approved by the senior general manager and said the name of my husband's ex-girlfriend. We were both shocked, as he has not spoken to her in like 9 years. They had a very intense relationship, and I know he loved her in a very special way, but distance ended it. Otherwise, they would still be together. My husband was visibly thrown at her name and was distracted the rest of the day. I guess I knew he loved her, but seeing his reaction to this gesture had me worried. The next day he apologized and said that he was moved by what she did and was just wondering about how her life is now and if she is happy. I told him I wanted to switch back to the room we booked if he was going to be thinking of her the whole time. He said he wasn't and wanted me to enjoy this gift despite how we got it. I explained that I was no longer comfortable since this was supposed to be about us and our new baby, and now it is about her. He felt I was being unreasonable and switching rooms wasn't going to change anything. I insisted, and we got them to change it back. Later, I told my mom, sister, and friends. They all thought I overreacted and should have stayed in the room. At first, I thought I did the right thing, but now I'm not so sure. In my opinion, that's an amazing anonymous gift to receive. OP is insecure. It was a nice gesture, and OP acted like a spoiled child. Don't you think so, guys? And now let's hear the community's opinion. Midwest Panic 69 says, "You're the a-hole. It's a nice gesture. It'd be one thing to be uncomfortable if they broke up immediately before you got pregnant, but it ended 10 years ago. He was also open and said he was moved and wondering how she is doing, which, alright, I wouldn't love that either, but still, this definitely reads more as insecurity versus anything untoward from ex to hubby." TLS user says, "You're the a-hole. His ex did an incredibly kind thing and was obviously trying to keep it a secret so that there was no awkwardness. Your insecurities ruined what should have been a wonderful experience." Call All says, "You're the a-hole. His ex did a nice thing for the two of you. There was no expectation of getting anything at all, just well wishes. You were the one who made it about the ex. No one else thought that." I've been with my husband for a total of over 15 years now, married for 2. I moved into his family's house with him when we were both 16 and developed a close relationship with his mom. So close to the point that I even call her mom. My husband has an older sister and a younger brother. His younger brother is married, but me and his wife never got along. We've had a lot of issues in the past, years ago, and it got really bad to the point where my husband and I moved out of his parents' house and cut off contact with everyone. Fast forward to present time. His brother's wife has tried to make amends with me multiple times over the years, since it's been years and we both have kids now, like buying me and husband and our kids gifts for Christmas, reaching out via my mother-in-law, etc. But I wasn't having any of it, and refused to have any contact with her, or allow my kids to have any contact with her kids. She has 3. My mother-in-law hates that we don't get along, and that every holiday she has to have 2 celebrations, since she can't have everyone together. She tried to stay neutral and not take sides, but it's obvious that she just wants her family to be together again. My 5 female and 1 female daughters stay with my mother-in-law from Monday through Friday, while my husband and I work. They're at my mother-in-law's house more than they're at ours. A few days ago, my eldest daughter was talking to me about her week with Grandma. She said her and her sister met some new friends this week and started giving the names of her 3 cousins, the ones we don't speak to. Apparently, my mother-in-law went to visit my brother-in-law and his wife, their kids, and took my kids with him, since they're with her all the time. Mother-in-law never mentioned this to me at all, and I presume wasn't planning on telling me. So I confronted my mother-in-law and asked why she did this and didn't tell me. She explained that it's been over 10 years, and she is sick of keeping her grandkids away from each other and having this divide in the family. She said that the fact that her sons don't speak has been killing her for years, and she doesn't think it's fair that my kids and my brother-in-law's kids have never met due to some stupid drama that happened years ago. I told her I don't want my kids having anything to do with my brother-in-law, his wife, or their kids, and that she needs to respect this, or I will find somewhere else to leave my kids during the week. She was obviously upset about this. I was talking to my sister-in-law, husband's older sister, and my niece about this, and to my surprise, they think this is kind of an a-hole move on my part. They said that they don't think it's fair that my kids won't ever get to build a relationship with their cousins due to some drama that happened over 10 years ago. They also said my mother-in-law was doing my husband and I a favor by watching our kids Monday through Friday without getting paid a cent, and that I shouldn't give her such a hard time. Was this an a-hole move on my part? Edit. The drama that occurred between my sister-in-law and I was that she used to constantly talk crap about me and make comments behind my back. One day I overheard her talking crap about me to my mother-in-law, and I confronted her. She tried to deny what she said and played the victim. Ever since then, I cut ties with her and my brother-in-law and want nothing to do with him. My mother-in-law has always tried to stay neutral. Wild Feral Fun says, "You're the a-hole. You expect to control your mother-in-law's activity 5 of 7 days a week while she raises your kids? You need to accept that when you have someone else doing that much parenting on your behalf, you won't approve of everything that happens. If you expect that she would never see her other grandchildren on any of the 250 days a year she raises your children, you're out of your mind. Do find other arrangements, because I seriously doubt it will work out for you. Dependent Guava says, "Wow, I went into this thinking you could do no wrong with that title, but damn, you're the a-hole. You're not even willing to try to bridge the gap with your brother-in-law and sister-in-law, despite their best efforts, and in the process, punishing children as well as your amazing and patient mother-in-law. Did mother-in-law overstep? Yes. Should she have? No. Are you reasonable with holding a grudge you wouldn't even explain in detail in your post? Which makes me wonder if what happened really was petty and stupid for a decade. 100% yes." Gray Couch Blanket says, "Huge, you're the a-hole. 1. Your mother-in-law watches your kids as a favor to you. How dare you threaten you'll find someone else to leave your kids 5 days a week? So ungrateful and rude. If I were her, I'd have called you on your bluff. 2. Whatever feud that exists between your sister-in-law and you is between the two of you, not your husband, not your kids, and not your mother-in-law.